And here we go. The most important day of the Kansas City Chiefs training camp has finally arrived. It is day 4, but what makes it so special is the veterans have came to camp. Rashee Rice, Hollywood Brown, Travis Kelce, Isaiah Pacheco, all of these guys are at practice, practicing today. And with that being said, we have so much news, notes, highlights, observations from another day here at practice. We're going to be telling you who is starting at certain positions, what the camp battles have looked like, but more importantly, the standouts of practice on day 4. Now, before we get into the video, like we always do, I want to give a massive shout out to all of the Chiefs reporters out there in the world who, work so hard each and every single day to actually get us these clips, these highlights, and, allow us to make these videos. Without them, the videos aren't even possible. So do me a favor and go follow them on Twitter if you haven't already done so. You're going to see their names at the top of the screen, and once you follow those guys, you'll be able to follow a bunch of other ones as well. So make sure you guys go do that really quickly. And with that being said, let's kind of dive into the video. Now, the first thing that I wanted to talk about was, with today being the veteran day, with all the guys showing up to practice, if you're not here, you're probably getting fined, right? Unless you have an injury. Now, speaking of the injuries, there are a couple of players who were out today. Justin Reed, I believe he was out, had a brace on his leg. He'll probably be okay, but not at practice. I have some good news about him that we'll talk later on the video. Charles Menahue, BJ Thompson, Joe Toney, Jalen Watson, Derek Nottie, all not practicing in day 4 of Chiefs training camp. But then we also had Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He was removed off the non-football injury list he had an illness, but he was in practice today with a helmet on, getting some work in with the guys. So that was definitely good to see how he's being utilized, and we need to continue to monitor him going forward, especially with Louis Rees-Zammit and obviously all the talent they have behind him. I think there's going to be a lot of battles in that running back room for that number 2 spot. Now, another really interesting, thing about today's practice, Kadarius Toney. Now, good news, bad news, whatever you may think of it, he was actually working with the running backs and the receivers today. So not only is he someone that is fighting to make a roster spot, but Andy Reid and Matt Nagy are really trying to figure out how can this dude be, productive for our football team, right? And I feel like putting him at the running back, or putting him with the running backs, lining him up in the backfield on, quick Texas routes or wheel routes, or even handing him the football off could be really effective. Now, the one knock on Kadarius Toney is catching the football, right? But if you just hand it off to him, he is an elite playmaker with the ball in his hands, right? Once he gets that football, he can score on any play. So maybe this is something that teams should have done a while ago, right? The Giants, the Chiefs, right? Getting him in the backfield, and maybe he can start to get a spark being a running back. Now, again, I think this is just, they're experimenting with Kadarius Toney. We'll see what goes on forward, but listen, he was still working with receivers, but also with the running backs as well. Maybe something just to note going forward. Wanya Morris was getting some of the first reps at left tackle, but Kingsley had some early rotation, so you can tell from day 1 that these guys are going to be in a battle. I don't know who's going to be the starting tackle for Patrick Mahomes in this offense, but as of right now, Wanya Morris has the keys. Can he hold on to him? Kingsley's right there behind him. It's going to be a really fun battle. Now, before we get any further and get into some of the 7-on-7 news, guys, you're going to want to stick around for this. Xavier, we're going to hear a lot about the young guys, the new guys. Don't worry. 1 second. Before we get in, though, make sure you guys hit that like button, but more importantly, subscribe to the channel if you're new. It's free. It doesn't cost anything to subscribe, and we will be covering the Chiefs throughout the entirety of camp. Training camp, preseason, regular season, breaking down film when the games start. Listen, if you guys aren't joining the family, I don't know what you guys are doing. But also, if you guys want to watch some games with me, make sure you guys follow my Twitch, Matty Dubs with 3 S's, or find the link in the description below. With that being said, let's kind of get into more about practice, right? Now, the starting defense today, with Jalen Watson out, keep in mind, Trent McDuffie and Joshua Williams on the outside, and then Shamari Connor was starting in the nickel, which, is a good rotation there. Obviously, when Jalen Watson's healthy, will he be starting for them? I don't know. Nazeed Johnson and, Joshua Williams, well, not Joshua Williams, excuse me, Nick Jones and Kelvin Joseph, those are the guys kind of getting those second team looks. So again, really want to see when Jalen Watson's healthy, is he a day one starter, or do they continue to look for Joshua Williams and Trent McDuffie with Shamari Connor in the slot? Now, another very interesting part of practice was seeing the initial lineups, right? As we heard, the DBs, but the tight end room, right? In 2 personnel sets, or 12 personnel sets, 2 tight end sets, Jared Wiley was playing with the first team as a rookie. This is something that actually should be making some noise to you guys, because yes, you have Travis Kelce, you have Noah Gray, but who's going to be that number 2 or 3, right? It looks like right now Jared Wiley may have already taken that leap into that number 2 tight end role. We'll see as practice continues to progress, but that was a major sign, something to look at going forward. Jaden Hicks was getting first team reps. Now keep in mind, Justin Reed was out today at practice, so maybe with Justin Reed fully there, he wouldn't be starting, but we all know that Steve Spagnuolo loves him some Jaden Hicks, so hey, he got in there, he was working with the first team. We'll see if that continues to stick. And then we got to some 7-on-7s, right? After warm-ups, after individual drills, we got early 7-on-7s. Now remember, pads are not on just yet. We're probably a few weeks or maybe a couple of days away from that. Not really too sure, but Mahomes threw a nasty ball to Travis Kelce on a dart. But to open up 7-on-7s, Mahomes found Hollywood a couple of times, generating, a ton of buzz already in just day one. I think Mahomes to Hollywood is going to be something we're going to get used to pretty quickly here. And, we're going to expect this duo to be doing great things once the season does start. Mahomes also found Justin Ross on a beautiful toe tap sideline grab. That was something to look at. Again, Nazeed Johnson, Kelvin Joseph with the second team, and then Kadarius Toney was working in with the third team offense. I did think he got a grab or 2 in there with the third team, but the play of the day, right? At least from what I know, Xavier Worthy had an unreal catch on the corner route, or on a corner route, was heavily involved in the lineup when he was with Mahomes, and I think Xavier Worthy has already showcased some really good things. Now, listen, it is still very, very, very early. We have to understand that once the pads come on, that's when we're going to be able to see who is really standing out. 7-on-7s ended with a Travis Kelce, touchdown, beautiful throw, beautiful catch, and he had one of those Tony Gonzalez types of, dunks on the goalpost there, or the field goal post. So that was another big thing I took away from practice. But overall, a good day one. Patrick Mahomes and Xavier Worthy connected on another big-time play during 11-on-11s. Mahomes scrambled out to his left before chucking it 50 yards down the field into the arms of Worthy for a massive touchdown. And, that really got the crowd going here for the Chiefs. But again, great day one. Day 4 for the Chiefs. Day 1 with the veterans there. 3 snaps for Wayne Morris during 11-on-11s at left tackle, 2 for Kingsley. So again, they're going to be rotating in and out, seeing who the better players. Worthy and Hollywood Brown are going to be getting a ton of work here for the offense. And Rashee Rice was there as well, getting some rotation, getting some starting snaps. But listen, Xavier Worthy, big day today. Rashee Rice, really big practice with Patrick Mahomes. We'll see how these guys continue to develop and continue to look with Patrick Mahomes. But with that being said, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, join the family. A lot more of these Chiefs videos are going to be coming out over the next few days here. Let me know what you guys think about today's practice. Who are you excited to see next? Didn't hear too much about Louis Rees-Zammit, but again, it's very early, just the beginning stages. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.